This is how I grew my wedding photography business with no ads and no marketing money. My first year of business as a wedding photographer, I got a call. Now, you have to remember, this is 2013, so different days. But I got this call saying, congratulations, Luke, you have been selected. Your wedding photography is so great that you have been selected to be on the first page of Google. And do you know what I said? Wow, I am so honored. This is so exciting. I made an Instagram post about it, how I was going to be on the first page of Google. I didn't even know what the word SEO meant. I thought Google was calling me and telling me this, but no, it was not Google on the phone. And a few months later, I found myself in a monthly contract with an SEO and advertising company trying to grow my business. And I was on the phone, I was emailing them trying to cancel this thing because I didn't have the money to do this. And the more that I found out about it, the more I realized this is going to take several months before you're going to see any impact. But one of the reasons why I wanted this company to work with me was because I thought the only reason why my business wasn't growing more, and I wanted to grow it as big as possible, but I thought the only reason it wasn't growing more was because I just needed more leads. I just needed more emails, more people interested. And I thought the best way to do that was to pay for it. Thankfully, I got out of that contract. And after a few more months, I wrangled Google to give me back my business page because this company had locked me out of it. Oh, it was a very stressful time. But that was my first experience with paying for advertising. And it didn't start me off on a good path. And ever since then, I have tried Instagram ads, Facebook ads, Google AdWords, all of these things. But I am just not that great at it. And I found over the years, I just wasn't patient. I didn't want to put the time. I didn't have the patience to put in the time to try different things and all this stuff. And not to mention, they didn't kind of work as I expected, even though I'm sure many of you out there could do it way better than I could. But I didn't have the money to spend on it. And especially in those first few years, I didn't have the money to spend on advertising. I was trying to get weddings so I could have the money to advertise, but I didn't have any money to advertise. So it was a vicious cycle. So feeling very kind of overwhelmed and stressed out about advertising and feeling like I was missing out on this only way to kind of grow your business, I was reading a book, or it was something, a book or video or podcast, something by Seth Godin. And in it, he said, advertising is the tax of the unremarkable. Well, I don't think that is 100% true. I think there's a lot of really amazing products out there that do advertise. And I think if you're really capable of advertising and you have a good hang on it, unlike myself, then you can do, I'm sure, a lot of things with it. But there is definitely an element of truth to that, where if your product doesn't sell itself, if your product doesn't make people talk about it, then it is a lot harder to grow a business. It is a lot harder to get those new clients that you want. And so that idea gave me a lot of confidence to be like, okay, you know what? I'm really not good at this paid advertising thing. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let go of it and figure out a different way to grow my business with no money for marketing or advertising. So how did I do that? Okay, well, one of the first things that I did early on, and if any of you have started a wedding business or any type of small business really in general, who often are your first clients? Well, it's your friends and your family. And those clients can be a little bit easier to get because, there's a lot of excitement about your new business. You're like, I'm going to be a wedding photographer. And everyone's like, oh, I know someone that's getting married, and they hook you up and like all this stuff. There's lots of excitement and you can get some initial clients right away. What I did for those initial clients that I had was I worked my butt off for referrals. I found a lot of growth in my business from simply working really, really hard, making sure that the value that they got from me was way above what they expected or what they expected that they paid for. And so my first clients, whether they were free, whether I was doing something for free or whether someone was paying me, I went way above and beyond. I did everything I could to make sure that their experience of working with me was as incredible as I could make it. Whether I was charging $1,000 for a wedding or $10,000 for a wedding, I always wanted the client to feel like they got the better half of the deal, right? I wanted them to feel like they were just like, what? This is only $7,000? Like, I got such incredible value. You took such good care of me. These photos are incredible. I wanted them to feel like they got a deal. And I don't necessarily mean a deal in terms of like, oh, I paid like a cheap amount for this, but I more focused on the amount of value that they were receiving, that they felt like they were very well taken care of, that their money was very well spent. The second thing I did was, as I was getting those initial clients and maybe I was getting referred to a friend or a family member, and then I got another wedding, I then started to really focus and intentionally build a personal brand kind of thing toward other vendors. I wanted to be known as very positive and very like just someone that was always problem solving. Like, oh, there's an issue. Let me see what I can do to fix this. Oh, there's an issue over here. Let me see how I can calm people down or divert their attention or do what I could to kind of bring up the mood of a situation. Do you know the type of people who have to advertise the crap out of their business? The grumpy, miserable, complaining people that don't see opportunities in front of them to fix things and to get better, but sometimes they just see everything as like something to complain about. So don't ever complain. Like when I sit around at a vendor table, never, ever talk badly about other vendors, about other people. Don't complain about the couple. The amount of times that I hear other people like complain about the couple that are paying us to be there or like something like that. Like it is unfathomable to me that people would do that, but there's so many people that do that. And so if you want to grow your business without having to put money into advertising, be a really positive person that is excited to be there and grateful to be there. And the vendors around you, they're going to notice. And especially if you're working with someone like a planner, they don't want someone that they have to babysit. They want someone that is going to help and aid in creating the best day possible. I had this planner that reached out to me not too long ago and said, Luke, I have a wedding for you. That wedding that we worked on, they were kind of difficult clients and you were so great with them. You took kind of a situation that could be kind of dicey and you turned it into a great day. And she was just like, you're like the only one that I trust to do this other wedding because I'm concerned that they're going to be difficult and I need to have you there. And so like just being positive, just taking a difficult scenario that I was a part of last year and turned it into something, really good and positive, that grew my business. That made a planner really excited and looked forward to work with me. Weddings are hard work. And inevitably, there's going to be issues. There's going to be problems arise. There's going to be logistical problems, unforeseen issues. And if you want to grow your business, be part of the solution and don't be the one complaining. Don't be the one that's annoyed. Don't be the one that's entitled, but be the one who is staying positive and being part of the solution. The third thing is that over the years, I developed my brand into focusing about the couple and not about me. I remember all my first years of consultations where I was always starting about talking about me and how I got into photography and how my vision is. Now, okay, I think if you're a photographer, you think you're special. You like your photos, right? I like my photos. I think, I'm on here talking to you about my wedding photography experience. I care about the work that I do, and I think the work that I do is valuable. And it's easy for us as photographers to be thinking about ourselves. But if you want a business that grows, if you want a business that is attractive to people, don't make it about yourself. Make it about the couple and their journey, not you and your journey. You are the one guiding them along this wonderful, beautiful path of amazing wedding photography, and you're making it about them and not about yourself. So whether that is my website, whether that is my Instagram captions, whether that is the consultation I do with a couple, I always think as I'm reworking that year after year, as I'm trying to improve it, I'm thinking about the couple. I'm having the couple in mind. What do they need help with? What are they looking for? What will best help them, instead of just always thinking about myself? The fourth thing, and the most important aspect to growing my business over these last 10, 11 years without spending money on ads, is that I learned leads were not necessarily my number one issue. I get emails all the time. I think they're just mostly spam, but of people saying hey, I can give you such and such more leads every month. I can do this for you and you'll get more leads. Or, I talk to starting photographers and they're oh, how can I get more leads? How can I get more people emailing me? And the thing that I learned, and this was kind of a remarkable, not remarkable, but it was a big change in my mindset. And it's this. It's maybe not the leads that are your problem. Maybe it's your product. Maybe if I focused on my product and making my product remarkable, I wouldn't have to be so stressed out about getting more and more leads, because people would be simply much more attracted to the product that I'm offering. And after realizing that, I stopped sitting around being when are more people going to email me? I started thinking about, okay, how can I make my business, how can I make my wedding photography the best wedding photography that you can ever get, right? How can I cut no corners? How can I, as I'm editing photos, be ooh, that magenta is just a hair off. I'm going to fix it so this is perfect. How when they get those photos back, they are just blown away by what the editing looks like, the amount of effort that I went into in actually shooting the day, the creativity, the extra brainstorming and thinking and planning and all of those things. Every winter, when I'm not shooting as many weddings, I would think through my client experience. I would think about engagement sessions. How can I make those better? How can I make the booking process better? How can I make my couples receiving their images and that whole process, what they receive, what they don't receive, what they can purchase, what they get for free, all of these things, thinking through my entire experience and workflow and thinking, okay, maybe I can get more clients if their whole experience is incredible. If my product is so good that people can't help but talk about it. They can be my advertising for me. They can say they can't help but talk about how great their photos and their experience and their time working for me was. And so when I changed that mindset of, it's almost like an entitlement feeling where there's been times where I felt entitled to getting more leads when maybe my product wasn't as good as it could be. And so when I changed and focused to, you know what, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe my product is the problem. And I start with my product and make sure it's as good as I possibly can make it. That's when things really started to change for me and really started to grow. How can I get my portfolio to stand out so the images that people are seeing are just incredible? And how can I get my wedding photography experience? How can I get the couple's experience to be so great that when they work with me, when they're Luke Cleland shot my wedding, that their experience is so great that ultimately it would be way more powerful than paid advertising could ever be.